The following is a presentation of TNT Sports.
A funny thing happened on the way to a three-peat. The Hawks forced Game 5 with the champion Pistons. Doc Rivers, who had 32 points in the first 3 games, exploded for 34. And the veteran, Sidney Moncrief, scored a dozen of his 23 points in the last 5 minutes of the game. The Hawks tied the series. And the NBA's Kings must return to the Palace for Game 5. Meantime, the reigning Western Kings are faced with a Game 5 against Seattle. The Sonics put on a Game 4 show in front of the home folks as Eddie Johnson's 34 put away Portland to knot the series. The Sonics will try to pull off a stunner Saturday. After back-to-back first-round exits from the playoffs, Utah has advanced. Karl Malone, 38 points. The mailman with a vintage performance and some genuine emotion.
You guys just don't know how important this win was to us. It was a big win for us. We're just excited to get past this first round and go on, and we match up with Portland really well, and it's just a big win for this organization.
Tonight, yet another first-round doubleheader. First, from Market Square Arena, Chuck Person and the Indiana Pacers fight for survival against the Boston Celtics. In Boston's Game 3 win, Kevin McHale had 22. Larry Bird had 15. And Kevin Gamble 18, accounting for nearly half the Boston offense. And in the nightcap, we head to Oakland. Golden State's bench has outscored San Antonio's 103-43 in 3 games, sparked by Sharunas Marciulionis. It is all hands on deck as the Admiral and his mates try to stave off elimination. So let yourself go and enjoy another night of playoff action on TNT. A good Friday evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson here in Atlanta as we bring you another first-round doubleheader on TNT, and we welcome another guest here in the studio, former Indiana Pacer head coach Dick Versace. Been looking forward to this night, big guy.
Fire up, EJ Jr.
Hey, I'm there, baby. I'm there.
2 great games tonight.
Got the game face on.
Unbelievable chess match going on in Oakland, California, with San Antonio and the great mind of Don Nelson. Also an interesting match with my old team, the Pacers and the Celtics.
Yeah, what do you think? I thought, the Pacers, they'll be gone in no time against the Celtics. Has not happened. Any surprise to you?
Not to their old coach, no, because it's a team that can really shoot the ball. Boston is a team, quite honestly, that's a little long in the tooth and a little hurting in the back right now.
Indeed.
And that in combination with the fact that the Indiana Pacers can shoot the ball and are really committed to trying to outscore you right now. If they're cooking and they get scoring off the bench from Fleming, Sanders, and Smits, they can play with any team in the NBA.
Be honest with me now, and I have no doubts that you will be. This was your team at the beginning of the season. Is it tough to watch them during playoff time? Are you wringing your hands at home and saying, oh, if I were in there?
Well, I had 714 days as their head coach, and I enjoyed 713 of those days. Yes. But at first it was a little difficult. But, when you work closely with guys, at practice every day with them, traveling with them, there's a lot of love that develops, and a lot of kinship that really does develop. And so once I got over the initial shock of trying to watch your old team, it's never happened to me, I really enjoy watching them now, and I definitely root for them.
And you'll be enjoying it tonight, too. It's Game 1. Dick Versace and I will be back at halftime, but straight ahead, our Friday night doubleheader. Boston, Indiana, followed by San Antonio, Golden State on TNT.
Sound the bell. School is in. The NBA action is fantastic.
Tomorrow night.
Lions for sponsoring this award, and everyone with the Orlando Magic for their support. Thank you.
All right, Scott, nice going. There you have it, folks. The American Airlines Most Improved Player of the Year for 1990-91, Scott Skiles. Games here, Coach. What do you make of these?
Well, the first thing I see is that if you're going to take, if you're only going to make 3 three-point shots, don't take 22 of them. That's number one. I think the other things that you're looking at is the third quarter. What happens when a team comes out? We all talk about the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, how crucial that is. Look at the third quarter for the Warriors and look at the third quarter for the Spurs. Sometimes you can't always tell by that, but it looks to me like that's going to be a factor in this next game.
Well, it looks like the Warriors' hearing improves dramatically in the fourth period. They lead the series 2-1. One of the guys who had a huge series, or a huge game in the first game of the series was Willie Anderson, and our Rick Barry, who is going to be calling the action, talked to Willie Anderson earlier at Golden State.
Thank you very much, Ernie. Willie, you guys are obviously in a tough situation. What do you have to do to come away with a victory?
I think the main thing we have to do is pick up Mullen and Richmond in transition quickly. We're giving them too many free open jump shots. They're both great jump shooters, and we got to pick them up early.
What about the spread defense that they have? When they don't get their transition baskets, they spread the floor. You guys seem to have problems when they're penetrating and kicking out. Any adjustments being made there?
We're going to make adjustment. We're going to lock in on Mullen and Richmond and let the other guys beat us. You know, Sean and I are doing too much helping, and then enabling Mullen and Richmond get a lot of open shots, and we're going to concentrate on those two, not getting them so many open shots.
One final thing on you personally. You had a great first game. You haven't had too good of games coming up after that. What about Willie Anderson tonight? What do you have to do?
Well, offensively, I'm not worrying about, you know, scoring anything. We have to really get the ball inside and let Terry and Dave, you know, dominate in there. You know, the 2 games that we lost, we haven't done a good job of getting them the ball inside, and we got to do a better job at that.
Well, good luck to you, Willie. Thanks a lot. Back to Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Rick. San Antonio, Golden State, Game 2 of our Friday night doubleheader. The Prudential Halftime Report continues after this break.
I love the nightlife. I love to boogie.
Great chance from Market Square Arena. 116-113. The Indiana Pacers win it, forcing Game 5 at Boston Garden. For Doug Collins and our entire crew in Indianapolis, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.
Back here in our Atlanta studio, Ernie Johnson along with Dick Versace. We're going to talk about this Indiana game here in just a second. The Pacers beating the Boston Celtics. We want to send it back to Market Square Arena because Chuck Person, the man of the hour, is standing by with Ron Thulin and Doug Collins. Take it away, guys.
Well, you know, we talked about during the telecast, Ernie, the fact that, Chuck, that a lot of people were saying, let the offense come to you. And I think you finally said, well, if it doesn't come to me, I got to go get it. And tonight, you went and got it, especially in the fourth.
Well, in Game 3, I was a little passive, and I was trying to let the game come to me and get my other teammates involved, but it didn't seem to work. So I came out in this game staying aggressively and taking to them, and hopefully I can get something started for our team.
You know, Chuck, did you feel late in the ball game that Boston was just trying to hang on, that you guys were making your push, and that they were just trying to hang on?
Well, absolutely. Bob Hill made a great statement at halftime in the locker room and said those guys scored 69 points, so they must be getting tired. So we came out in the second half and kept the pressure on us and hoping they would put that big lineup in so we can take them off the dribble.
You know, Chuck, you and Reggie Miller, 57 points tonight. In Game 2 when you won, 54 points. The other night when you lost, 26 points. Obviously, you guys have to come out shooting the ball if you guys are going to be successful.
Well, it's true in the sense that Reggie Miller and I are the team leaders on the offensive end, but we need everybody. We need 12 guys focused and 12 guys willing to put forth the effort to win. Reggie and I stayed aggressive no matter how many shots we took, how many shots we make it. It don't matter how many shots you miss, on the ones that go in that count, Doug.
Let me ask you a question, Chuck. You guys going to use what New York did last year to Boston in Game 5 as an incentive to going up to Boston Garden?
Well, we feel like these guys are scared of us, so they can't run with us, so they try to slow us down. So we can keep pushing the ball and stay on top of them and run our passing game, or we can beat anybody. It just feels great to be able to play in front of all these beautiful fans, Doug. It's really great.
Well, you had a great game tonight, Chuck.
Chuck, a lot of people are talking about how this will be a breakthrough game for your franchise. Do you feel it's that way right now, considering you have to go to Boston and you've already won up there once?
Well, this is great. We know we can beat them up there in the Garden, and they do too. So we just go up there, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 guys can get hot and kill McHale may twist his ankle. Who never knows? We might win the game.
And you're going to keep talking, I bet. You and Larry, we're talking probably about what you're going to do after the game tonight, right?
I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to go up there and take 20, 25 shots and see how it comes out. I'm definitely not going to take 8 shots.
You know, when I told Ron Thulin, I said, if you're going to go out, you go out shooting. That's the way you're going to give it your best shot. You had a tremendous game tonight, Chuck.
Thanks, Doug.
Good job, Chuck.
All right.
Chuck Person, also let's go back to our studios in Atlanta with Ernie Johnson. EJ?
Thank you very much, Ron Thulin. I tell you what, the guy can talk, and he had a great night tonight. It's frightening when he gets on a roll like that.
But it's fun to coach him when he's on a roll like that. He was more excited than Karl Malone, for crying out loud.
That was really something else, and he's talking big, too. He's saying they're scared of us. You buy that?
Well, you know, he's from a small town, and he needs that. You know, he needs to talk to himself, and he likes to know that everybody around him believes in him.
Maybe changing of the guard you were mentioning earlier, too, because you said, you look at this, Game 5's in here. Atlanta takes Detroit, Seattle takes Portland, and here we go again.
Right. I think you are witnessing a changing of the guard of some of the older teams, maybe stepping back and leveling out a little bit, especially at the end of the year. The brutality of the season starts to take its toll.
So Indiana forces a Game 5 with the Boston Celtics. The San Antonio Spurs have that same thing on their mind as they get ready to take the floor against the Golden State Warriors. That is Game 2 of our doubleheader. Let's get a preview of that game now from Bob Neal and Rick Barry in Oakland, guys.
Along with Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal from Oakland, California. The A's are playing the Cleveland Indians on the right of your screen, and now you're looking at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where inside tonight, San Antonio and Golden State do battle in Game 4. The Warriors are up 2-1. The Midwest Division champion Spurs are on the brink of elimination. But it has not been easy for Golden State to get this 2-1 lead. As a matter of fact, Rick, they had an 11-point lead in Game 3 with 5 minutes to go. San Antonio with a furious rally, and were it not from the mind and body of Mitch Richmond in this shot, it might have been a San Antonio game.
Yeah, very easily could, Bob. Mitch Richmond designed this play you're going to see in practice prior to game number 3. There you see him down low. He will go up and set a back pick on David Robinson guarding Tom Tolbert. His man is going to switch off. That is Richmond's man. Switch off to pick up Tolbert. Robertson rolls back in, tries to go to the inside. Richmond steps back. He's wide open, and he buries the jumper that was really the backbreaker for the Spurs.
The Golden State Warriors' offense and defense has been frustrating San Antonio. They've gone to a small lineup, and they particularly caused the Spurs all kinds of headache with the penetration and the kickout.
Yeah, that has been a killer. And you will definitely see Dick Versay saying Larry hasn't made a move. This will be a big move. They are going to make the adjustment. Anderson, Elliott are not going to be leaving these people. Watch this play, and you'll get an example of what has really been hurting the Spurs. You're going to see Hardaway driving to the basket. Now, as he makes his drive, we're going to freeze it. You're going to see Chris Mullin, 17, and right above him, Richmond. Both of their defensive men dropped off to help out. Hardaway kicks it out. He had his choice. This time, he went to Richmond, who dropped it in the basket. And, Bob, if the Spurs are going to win this ball game, they must also get some better shooting from the perimeter. They've been terrible. The Warriors are insulting them. If they don't hit the outside shots, it's going to be tough for Robinson and Cummings to get an inside game.
So the Midwest Division champion San Antonio Spurs on the brink of elimination in Oakland. We'll be back with the tip-off right after this.
The 1991 NBA playoffs are brought to you by Bud Dry.
Well, just as we found on Wednesday night, the Oakland Coliseum is electric with anticipation of the Warriors winning this first-round series and advancing against the Lakers. Let's have a look at the lineups tonight. First of all, for the San Antonio Spurs, the Jeep Eagle lineup shows that Elliott and Cummings are at the forward, Robinson at center, Anderson and Strickland are at the guards. And remember that Sidney Green, because of a death in the family, will not be coming off the bench for San Antonio tonight. He is not here in Oakland. Larry Brown, the head coach of the Spurs. And now for the Golden State Warriors, Chris Mullin and a CBA veteran, Mario Elliott forward, Jim Peterson at center, Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway are the guards, and Sharunas Marciulionis has been playing very effectively for the Warriors off the bench. Don Nelson, 10th in NBA history with 47 playoff victories, and as a player and coach, he's been in 250 playoff games, some experience. It's Ed T. Rush, Bernie Fryer, and Joe Forte as tonight officials as we're ready to get underway, and David Robinson, who's been playing well but has not come up with the dominating performance he needs. Not only does David Robinson continue to play well, but San Antonio has to have some help from the bench. Rod Strickland, who played well in the second half on Wednesday night, is the point guard for the Spurs.
The Spurs are going to have to do a better job, too, of stopping the penetration of the Warriors. Strickland in particular against Hardaway, and then also on Marciulionis when he comes in.
We have an early foul. It's against Mario Ellie. He was in early foul trouble in game number 3 here on Wednesday night.
And they will look to go into Cummings, and Cummings is going to try to be more aggressive going to the basket. He was content with taking turnaround or fadeaway jump shots. That's not going to get you to the free throw line. They want him to go to the basket.
Now Peterson on David Robinson. They've isolated him there. Inside to Cummings.
They're trying to post him down low against Ellie, and they did it successfully that time for the first few points of the game. Here's Peterson out high. Notice how they try to get David Robinson out of the lane for the penetration. Richmond penetrates and kicks. 10 seconds to shoot. Now Hardaway drives to Ellie, who missed the lay-in after being handed the ball by Hardaway. That was Chris Mullen who got the block. Inside to Elliott, 4-0, as Elliott goes down hard on the broken nose off the arm of Peterson. Mullen with the jam, and you know that Sean Elliott is in some serious pain. He wants a timeout. They're taking a 20-second timeout. That had to hurt a tremendous amount. You get your nose broken, and then you take a shot directly to the mask. Looked like Peterson turned around and had run into him. Let's watch again. Here he goes up for the shot. Now he's going to start. Peterson got knocked by Cummings. Cummings got knocked away and hit him with the left arm. That's where you saw the blow coming. So it really wasn't the fault of Peterson, who had gotten knocked into Elliott by Elliott's teammate Terry Cummings. And the officials on the sideline discussing just that point. Yeah, no, that was not Jim Peterson's fault. It was not a malicious blow. It was just one of those things that happened. Unfortunate for Sean Elliott, obviously. Sean Elliott with the guard to protect himself, but you can imagine the pain on that already broken nose. We are just underway from Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. It's 4-0 San Antonio. The Golden State Warriors lead in this series 2-1. The Spurs want to take it back to Texas. Robinson outside, and the hold on Peterson. Quick whistle from L.T. Wright. Well, I think Peterson did a nice job of forcing Robinson out quite a distance away from the basket. And that's a big key to keep him out there because he's not nearly as effective. San Antonio hoping to build a 6-point lead. Another foul on Ellie. He has 2 quick ones. And the early fouls on Golden State are an indication that they may not be able to defend that penetrating move by San Antonio as well as they did on Wednesday night. Strickland made a mistake, though. When he heard the whistle, he should have thrown the ball at the basket, would have gone to the line. Anderson rims out. Cummings with the rebound. Mullins comes away with it. They say it is San Antonio ball. We got a little action underneath the basket here. Some tempers flaring as Mitch Richmond had a few words to say to Terry Cummings. Well, I'll tell you what, Larry doesn't have to worry about his team being emotionally prepared for this ball game. He felt they were flat in game 2. They came out and played a good game in game 3, but not quite good enough. But the emotions are running high here this evening. Well, Larry Brown and these Spurs know that they are the Midwest Division champions facing elimination, and the technical foul has been called on David Robinson and Jim Peterson. They got the thing started in the middle. Yeah, and actually it was Cummings and Mitch Richmond who are the ones who had more action going on. I think Peterson and Robinson have been used to doing this all series long, so it's not as big a deal to them. Double technicals. In effect, no damage. Peterson pushed Robinson away from the ball. Out in front to Hardaway. Nice lead pass. And it's tied at 4. Hardaway only 2 rebounds short of a triple-double in game number 3 on Wednesday night. Big screen by Robinson that time. Down to Cummings again against Ellie, who has 2 fouls. The lean in. Cummings scores, and Cummings has 4 points early on that mismatch inside against forward Mario Ellie. And you can see, Bob, how aggressive he was. He went to the basket, not a fadeaway. Richmond with the penetration, and the whistle before he went into the lane.
San Antonio foul, the first team foul. And the first personal, number 32.
Big thing to watch on the initial penetration moves if the Warriors don't have a break opportunity is to see how San Antonio plays their defense. Will they stay home on Mullen and Richmond if Hardaway is penetrating? They haven't done it throughout this series, and they've paid dearly for it. And that's what they worked on in their practice sessions. They are not supposed to leave those people. Elliott picks up the personal foul. Richmond had a team-high 27 points. And hit that big shot that we showed you in the open to help seal the victory for Golden State. Here you're going to see where the technical foul came. You see Robinson on top of Peterson, went over the back, and then they hooked each other fighting, and both of them throwing each other off. That's where the fouls came. Richmond gets 1 out of 2. Rebound to David Robinson. He had 13 rebounds in game number 3. 2 here early tonight. Again, looking for Robinson against Peterson. Punched away. Here comes Hardaway with Mullen, Peterson, and Richmond. Hardaway out of control. Robinson with the block.
Higgins drives, kicks it out to Peterson. Now Richmond with the penetration. He'll pull up. Richmond has 3 points, his first field goal of the night. And it's a Warriors lead, 7-6. Peterson and Robinson really banging. You see him there on the left side of your screen. Looking for Robinson, spins inside, and gets the basket, and that's his first field goal of the night.
I tell you, Peterson would get arrested on the street for doing what he's doing to Robinson in this game.
You know, they'll run at least 3 of those guys at him tonight. After Peterson comes Tolbert and Tyrone Hill. They just keep sending waves of undersized but muscle-bound guys at David Robinson.
Yeah, but David should be used to waves.
He had moves. I like it. 8-7 Spurs, 8:52 to go first quarter. Higgins. That's it inside to Hardaway. There's that penetration and the kick out for Mullen. Not this time. But Robinson with the rebound to Strickland. And the basket, he took a hard blow from Rod Higgins.
That's a great shot, but they left Chris Mullen. Elliott didn't stay home. He got an open shot. That's not what they're supposed to be doing defensively.
Spurs by 3. Hardaway with the drive. The follow won't go. And loose ball foul is going to go against Golden State.
Mitch Richmond.
Warrior foul, the 4th team foul. First personal, number 23, Mitch Richmond.
Richmond's first personal. Ellie on the bench picked up 2 quick fouls, and that's why Rod Higgins, 22, is in the ball game for the Golden State Warriors, down 3. Elliott on the penetration past Mullen and the foul at 3-point opportunity.
What happened there is Jim Peterson was so intent on watching David Robinson, he had no idea that Elliott was coming until it was too late. He couldn't react. Elliott able to get the layup as Peterson was focused in on David Robinson. Well, watch the play again. You're going to see the penetration come, the right part of your screen. As he gets by his man, late coming was Harvey. See where Peterson was right next to Robertson. Never was able to react because he lost sight of the ball. You must keep man-ball relationship in this game defensively.
3-point play for Elliott. It's a 6-point Spurs lead. Don Nelson and the Warriors have been dictating the tone of these games since game number 2. You had to wonder when Larry Brown and the Spurs would start dictating on their own. Big follow by Rod Higgins off the Hardaway drive and miss.
Well, they had Robinson in there, but you have to have your assignment of screening your men off. That time, nobody screened Higgins off right into the basket.
7:48 to go first quarter. In Oakland, California. 10 to shoot for the Spurs. And to Robinson again. Going to have the foul on Peterson, and that's 2.
Peterson, second personal foul.
That's already the penalty.
Only 1 team foul against the Spurs, 5 on the Warriors.
Well, right now, the Spurs and Larry Brown have to be very pleased with the way they've come out of the gate. They haven't fallen behind. They haven't fallen into the situation where they're going to stop dropping into the deep hole and have the old syndrome come where they have to play from behind all game like they did in game number 3. So things right now looking very comfortable for the San Antonio Spurs, doing a much better job thus far of running their offense, and of course they still haven't played that penetration move correctly yet.
Well, as Dick Verzay said, this has been a chess game. You have to wonder when Larry Brown would make his move. Seems to be making it tonight. 15-9 Spurs. Richmond trying to back in. 10 to shoot for Golden State. There's the double team. Now 5 to shoot. Hardaway over Strickland. Tough shot. Offensive board. They'll start it all over again. Here's Richmond. This is the 3. Threes were very effective for the Warriors in game number 3. Oh, the layup is missed by Anderson.
And they need Willie to come up with a big game offensively also. He had the big one in game 1, but hasn't been heard from too much since then.
Chris Mullen. Bad pass to Peterson, controlled by Richmond. Peterson with the big rebound. The Golden State cold from the perimeter tonight so far.
Richmond again with the foul over the back of Robinson. I believe, no, they're going to call a push-off on Anderson.
That's his first. We have a timeout on the floor with 6:42 to go in the first quarter. Spurs leading it 15-9. 20 of their first 25 field goal attempts. Hit 57% for the game, a franchise record. But tonight, early on, real problem.
Yeah, but what's saving them is they've had so many offensive rebounds, getting more opportunities, so it hasn't hurt them as badly as it would had they been just getting one shot at the basket. You can see the number of opportunities they've had in excess of what San Antonio has been able to get.
Hardaway 0 for 5 has not scored a field goal since the early second quarter of Game 3. Remember, Hardaway went silent in the second half as Strickland won the second half battle between the two fine point guards. Now, Golden State is 4 of 15 from the field. Ice cold, and they have to hit those perimeter shots. Inside to Robinson, punched away by Peterson, who gets the ball on the break. A bad pass. Good job of Peterson just controlling it. Definitely the Warriors out of sync in this game early. Hardaway penetrates inside.
Spurs are not doing a good job of getting the ball to Robinson. He's broken across the middle a number of times wide open, and the pass hasn't been there.
Anderson on the hard drive and the shovel inside. Foul on Jim Peterson. That'll be 3 on him.
That'll bring in Tyrone Hill.
Number 43, Jim Peterson, his 3rd personal foul.
Now here's where I think David Robinson can really take advantage. Peterson has so much more experience, had great opportunity to work against one of the quickest centers and one of the best in the league, and Akeem Olajuwon when he was with the Rockets. And Hill, very inexperienced, I don't think has the strength nor the experience to be able to handle Robinson. So I would look for the Spurs to really take advantage of that right now.
Interesting to see how the Spurs do when they start going to their bench. Their bench has been a big disappointment in this series. And remember, Sidney Green, due to a death in the family, is not here tonight for the Spurs. Tyrone Hill gets the Terry Cummings free throw miss. It's a 5-point Spurs lead. We have 5:48 to go in the first quarter.
Nelly likes to do, bring the centers up, handling the ball high, try and keep Robinson away from the basket. He must stay above the foul line.
Hardaway on the drive, looking for the kickoff. 5 seconds to shoot. Mullen with a tough off-balance shot.
I told you, this guy's one of the great shooters. I mean, he can be off balance or whatever. He's going to find a way to get it up reasonably close. That was like nothing but net.
Strickland pulls up from 14 as he beats Hardaway off the dribble, and Strickland has 4 early. Everybody but Anderson has scored out of that starting lineup for San Antonio, and they continue to lead by 5.
This is a surprise. Larry Brown going to his bench here, coming in with another rookie.
Anderson hard to the hoop, dishes to Strickland, stripped away by Higgins. It's 3 on 2. Richmond to Hardaway for the wide open jump shot off the glass. It won't go. Rebound Robinson. He has 3 rebounds early. You mentioned the rookie. It's Sean Higgins.
Another Higgins coming in. He's going to get ready to come in, and he didn't see any action in the last ball.
Cummings, the turnaround, falling from the baseline. And Terry Cummings is off to a much better start than in Game 3. He has 7 early points, 7 of the Spurs 20, and the Spurs have their biggest lead. It's 7. Warriors had 20 turnovers in game number 3, and that's their first here tonight. Strickland fouled very hard by Tyrone Hill.
Yeah, big difference obviously right now in this game, Bob, is the ineffectiveness of the Warriors to hit the outside shots. They've gotten good opportunities. They were red hot in game number 3, and here they're shooting a very poor percentage. Spurs taking advantage of it.
Paul Pressey also entering the ball game for the San Antonio Spurs. He had 7 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists in 25 minutes in game number 3. There's a timeout on the floor with 4:11 to go in the first quarter.
Hi, we're Deja Vu.
State 6 of 19, 32% early in this game, trailing by 7.
Yes, and you saw his good defense, knocked away by Higgins. Here comes Mitch Richmond with the ball. He's going to kick it out over to Hardaway, and he's going to be wide open. And tonight, they can't get this type of shot to drop, and that's been the difference in the ball game.
Only 2 team fouls on the Spurs. The Warriors have been in the penalty forever, it seems. Golden State never dropped below 54% shooting in game number 1. Never dropped below 54%. See what they shot for the game, 57.
Well, when you said they started the game making 20 of their first 25, that's why we talked about the fact that San Antonio had to feel, hey, if we can just hang around here, we're not that far behind. This team can't shoot that good for the entire game, and of course that's what happened. and they had a shot but weren't able to pull it out. But right now, Spurs keep adding on to, or hope to continue to add on to their lead.
Sharunas Marciulionis checks into the game. He's averaged over 18 points, 3 rebounds a game, played about 26 minutes. Outscored the Spurs bench for the second time in 3 games. He had 21 points on Wednesday night, and he really can penetrate well, as can this young man, the point guard for the Spurs. Marciulionis joins Hill, Hardaway, Mullen, and Richmond on the floor for the Warriors. Bullet pass inside to Hardaway from Sharunas Marciulionis.
Marciulionis can do more than just drive, Bob. He's very, very capable ball handler and passer, as you saw in that play. Very strong.
Mullen playing Sean Higgins, Richmond on Willie Anderson. Hill now trying to play David Robinson. Double help? Yes. Hardaway comes away with it, has Marciulionis out in front, but an intelligent foul by Rod Strickland saved the basket.
Well, and you see, that's again, David either has to make his move before the double gets there, or just kick the ball right back out and to hopefully get someone like Strickland to hit a jumper, and then Hardaway's got to stay home, and that gives Robinson a chance to work inside, but he should take advantage of Hill. It's going to be on Willie Anderson again.
Illegal defense.
Well, illegal defense. That's what it was on Willie Anderson, is who was the call. I thought they were calling a foul on him pushing off, but it's because he had dropped into no man's land.
First call, it'll be inbounded on the sideline. Spurs 22-15, 3:20 to go, first quarter. Spurs builds a 9-point lead. There's Marciulionis with the penetration. Kicks back out. But excellent defense by the Spurs this time. 5 seconds to shoot. Hardaway pulls up from long range and buries it from 22 feet.
Typical Warrior basketball. If you don't have the opportunity quickly down the court, spread it out, use the shot clock.
Hardaway has 8. Anderson stepped on the line. That was a 2-point attempt. Hardaway rebound.
Spurs still can't hit the outside shots.
Hardaway for 3, not this time. Anderson had it knocked away from him by Sean Higgins. Marciulionis goes hard to the hoop. You won't stop him there. Well, there's the bench making a difference. It's a 3-point Spurs lead. And John Elliott's going to get back into the game for the Spurs.
Also Wingate to guard Marciulionis, I bet.
Mullins rebounds the Strickland miss. Golden State on the run. Richmond. Oh, the Warriors are heating up now. Richmond has 5, Hardaway 8. An 8-0 run makes it a 1-point game.
Yeah, the inability to hit the outside shot, turnovers, and now the Warriors starting to make their shots.
Back into Robinson. Hill in his face. Robinson with the turnaround jumper. Robinson has 6.
And I'm surprised that's really only the second time they've gone to him since Hill's come into the ballgame. We talked about how he had a big advantage there.
Marciulionis playing with newfound confidence late in the season. Hardaway has posted Strickland. 10 to shoot. Stripped away by Sean Higgins. Now 5 to shoot. Marciulionis! He has 4 points and has turned this game around with his presence on the court.
And it's more than just confidence, Bob. I think he's always had that. He's healthy for the first time. He doesn't have nagging injuries.
He told me it was confidence. In Russian. Tony in Russian. Hill trying to defend the Willie Anderson drive. There's Robinson, and look who strips it away from Robinson. Sharunas Marciulionis.
One thing you never have to worry about Sharunas is whether he's going to show up and give his best effort every night. He is a tough competitor.
You were touting him in 1986, I remember, in the Goodwill games when you were covering the World games.
Yeah, I was impressed then and thought he'd be a heck of a player in the NBA.
Into the minute, first quarter. Sean Elliott buries one over Richmond, and Elliott has 7 points. 3-point lead for the Spurs.
And finally, they hit the outside shot.
Richmond with a penetration. This time he took it all the way to the hole past Wingate, and Richmond has 7, Hardaway 8. bullet pass inside as Mullen went for the steal, and that gave the easy jam to Elliott. Much sore nose and all.
Much better execution on the part of the Spurs. They've gone back inside.
Hardaway misses the three. He has the green light for that, as do all of these. The big three, the run TMC group, as they call it. Pressey misses. Mullen was in his face. Richmond's going to slow it down. They'll go for the last shot of the quarter, trailing by 3.
Like I said, good execution, right? Could have saved it and gone for the last shot. That was not a good play.
Richmond with 3 seconds. Who's going to be open? Mullen. The turnaround won't fall. Mullen got there. They waited maybe a bit too long. And the Spurs in the first quarter with a 3-point lead over the Golden State Warriors. Spurs with a 3-point lead. We were touting Sharunas Marciulionis. Here's a look at it.
Well, watch the rookie Higgins. See, he took his eye off the ball, ran away from the defense. He could have stayed to help as it was. Anderson tried to play tough defense against Sharunas, but Sharunas very, very strong going to the basket. He's been doing it all series long, averaging 18 a ball game. He was a big difference as to why Golden State got right back into this ball game.
Talk about the benches. Right now, Golden State's bench is outscoring San Antonio 6-0, but during the playoffs, the bench has been the difference. Marciulionis outscoring on an average the entire San Antonio bench. I'll tell you one more time that Sidney Green, who certainly provides, even though it may not be a lot of minutes, some rebounding and strength help, is not here due to a death in the family. He will not be in Oakland for this game. Opening play of the second quarter.
Yeah, Wingate just sticks up a silly foul.
His first personal foul.
First team foul.
There's Marciulionis. Not disappointing.
He is so strong, Bob.
Air Sharunas. Pressey gets the double team. Open man, Elliott. Swings at the Wingate. Off the glass.
Now, if they can hit those kind of shots, move the ball, they're going to get those opportunities. They'll win this ball game. If they don't, they're going to be in for a battle.
Spurs by 3. Higgins fakes the 3, kicks it to Hardaway. He'll take the 3.
And what happened? Wingate started in the wind to help out, and he got away from Hardaway. We've talked about that. You can't leave Hardaway, you can't leave Richmond, and you can't leave Mullen. Make the other guys play the defense.
Nice pass from Pressey to Wingate.
Spurs doing a nice job of getting some execution, getting them in underneath the basket to get easy opportunities.
Spurs by 2. Hardaway's attempted lob almost went in, but didn't. Pressey to Robinson. Down low. Hurd around him. Higgins kept it alive. Marciulionis bounces it off to Richmond for the pull-up. Pressey just cleared Marciulionis right off the floor and was called for the foul.
Number 8, Paul Pressey. First personal foul.
10-12 to go in the half. Spurs up by 2. 2 team fouls on the Spurs, none on the Warriors. Now, Warriors were in the penalty very early in the first quarter. Hardaway against Strickland. Now 10 to shoot. Marciulionis tried to drive. He was denied by the veteran Pressey. Long-range bomb. Robinson with his 7th rebound early in this game. Cummings opened up on fire. Has been quiet for the past few minutes. Higgins on him now.
Oh, foul inside. Big push off by Hill as Robinson tried to come across the lane. And again, I just can't believe that they're not just trying to take full advantage of Hill inside. David should be able to take full advantage of him. Watch, David's going to come across. First he grabbed his jersey. Now he holds him. Now he bumps him. And then he shoves him with the left forearm.
Wingate left alone. Went for the 3, but stepped on the line anyway. Spurs continue to lead by 2. Both teams cold for the past minute or so. Hardaway gets bumped, counts the basket. Took Pressey down low, bounced off him, faded away, and gets the three-point opportunity. And Hardaway is on fire. 13, a chance to get 14 early in this game.
Well, he just does it all on his own. You saw the bump with the body. He used the body well as he got the contact, faded away, was able to have good control and drop it. And here's another look on it. There's the bump, and there's the good control. Excellent play on the part of Hardaway. I mean, that's just outplaying your man.
Warriors regain the lead, 33-32. Cummings against Higgins. Higgins is a strong interior defender. Slaps it out of bounds, and it's going to be Spurs ball. Last off of Terry Cummings. Well, this game started changing for Golden State when they went to the bench.
And Marciulionis really picked them up, started making a few shots, and everybody else seems to be hitting out.
10 to shoot for Golden State. Hardaway off balance. He is on fire. 16 points for Hardaway.
Very reminiscent of what he did in game number 3. Of course, by this time in that game, he had 20.
Robinson muscles it inside. Robinson has 8 points.
I just think they can get that all night long.
Now Marciulionis isolated against Pressey. He'll pull up for the jumper. Rebound to Wingate. Richmond will be back in the game shortly for the Warriors. Look at that tenacious, swarming defense. But John Elliott makes him pay with the jumper. Elliott has 11.
As David keeps working hard, they're going to bring Tolbert into the game, the Warriors, to give another fresh body to beat up on him.
Waves of center against the Admiral. I like that idea. 6 seconds to shoot for Golden State. Inside to Mullen. For Marciulionis. Elliott shoots it short.
That's because he shot it flat.
Golden State ball. Now Willie Anderson and Strickland get back into the game for San Antonio. Tom Tolbert and Mitch Richmond checking in for Golden State. Tom Tolbert on the right, number 34, was a teammate at Arizona of Sean Elliott, and he was a significant factor in game 3.
Robinson gets his first rest. Very important now to see what the Warriors are able to do, trailing only by 1 with Robinson on the bench. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Now the Spurs go small. Inside to Mullen, and he gets a three-point opportunity. 6 points. That's the Chris Mullen playground experience here.
But it's also a smart play call, because what do? They quickly go right down underneath the basket with David Robinson sitting on the bench.
Wingate's second personal.
It's nice to know when you catch it in there, as we'll watch the play again. Just a quick little cut across. He was open, and a nice move on the part of Chris Mullen to get the ball to drop in. But that's smart playing, because you take advantage of the big man sitting.
Chris Mullen said that one of the things he liked when he really got serious about basketball is the Warriors gave him a key to the gym. Literally, get in here to practice any time he wants. Use the facilities to work out. 11 o'clock at night, and shoot baskets. Seven seconds to shoot for the Spurs. Strickland with a beautiful fake on Mullen and takes it to the hole. Tied at 38. 7 minutes to go in the half. Strickland with 8 points. Tolbert gets fouled out high by Terry Cummings. Cummings first.
Warriors.
And the Warriors get a timeout with 6:52 to go in the half. We have a beauty going here in Oakland, tied at 38.
Long ago, we're holiday world now.
Well, with the game tied at 38, David Robinson of the Spurs getting a much-needed rest. He's just taking a beating with waves of people off the bench to play him defensively. Rick Barry talked to one of those bench players, Tom Tolbert, about how the Warriors were doing.
$40 million from
When we're tired, we're not trying to, get a little more out, get a little more out. When we're tired, we're done. He puts a new one in. We come in there fresh, and we do what we have to do. Me and Tyrone and Jim, we work on David. He's got to play 45 minutes. We only got to play 15, 20 apiece, and I think that takes a toll on him.
Yeah, and it definitely will take a toll on you when you get hammered, and they're letting a lot of contact go inside, but I'm sure that David will respond in this situation. He almost came out and guaranteed that they were going to win this ball game, at least from the reports in the newspapers, and very focused in, didn't even want to do any interviews prior to the ball games because of the concentration level that he had and wanting to come away with a victory. He's probably been the most consistent Spur, but as Bob pointed out at the top of the show, he really hasn't had the dominating game. His numbers have been super, but he just hasn't had one of those really great dominating games, and they need that out of him.
Tolbert will go to the line, as we told you, with teammate of Sean Elliott at Arizona. Mario Ellie, who's the CBA and international veteran who's getting his shot here at Golden State, who started the game, got early foul trouble, will also be back in shortly.
Well, of course, David might not have to have one of those incredible games if he can get help from some other people. Cummings has got to come through. Willie Anderson, who's been non-existent. Strickland, who struggled the last few ball games. Basically, the Spurs haven't played well.
Well, Tolbert effectively comes away with 2 from the line, even though it'll read 0 for 2 as Mullen steals the rebound.
Yeah, and that's inexcusable.
Mullen has 9. Tolbert, who is eccentric, might be a good word, would probably explain his missing stuff there. Try to defend Terry Cummings. Cummings blows by and goes to the reverse. But that's Terry Cummings at his most effective.
And the way that Larry Brown and the coaching staff would like to see him playing the entire ball game.
Tied at 40. That's for 3. Ron Higgins. He's an outstanding three-point shooter. This team's loaded with him.
But again, we saw penetration and the kick out. Higgins, another guy that you really can't leave. You got to play your men honest.
Wingate left alone. This is the jumper for Salonis.
He's not a really effective shooter from out there, and I'm sure that the Warriors are happy to see that.
Lipscomb kicks it to Marshallonis, who drives and tries to get it on the Mullen. Can't handle it. Cummings with a good defensive play. Strickland, Wingate, Tolbert with the hard foul. Stop the basket. Wingate will go to line. Tolbert's first foul.
Placing number 34, Tom Tolbert.
So Tolbert goes out, and now we talk about getting small. This is by NBA standards, a tiny lineup for the Warriors.
Yeah, we saw the end of the play there as Tolbert just came on strong, but it was a good break down the court in transition for the San Antonio Spurs. They certainly would like to get a few more easy hoops and not have to pound it inside all the time as David Robinson's going to come back in, and now Tolbert comes back for the Warriors because they don't want to have the big differential there in size. You can't afford to have a really small guy playing.
Until then, the tallest Warrior on the floor was 6'7". Tolbert's not a giant. He's only 6'8", but he weighs about 250 pounds. 5:41 to go in the half. Warriors with a 3-point lead. Wingate trying to cut into it. He's playing with a hamstring injury. I guess they're all playing with hamstrings.
Hope 2 of them, hopefully.
Warriors by 2. Tolbert out here at what Don Nelson calls point center.
They did that a little bit at the end of the last ball game. Just keep David away from the hole.
So Ellie can get inside and do that. He missed the layup. Got his own rebound. He's certainly not lacking for effort. Bad pass. Easy bucket here for Wingate.
Well, that's why they tell you not to throw cross-court passes.
Wingate has 7 points off the bench, all in this quarter. Tied at 43. Marshallonis drives. Left alone this time. He takes it all the way in.
And they don't have anybody that can stop him. He's able to go to the basket at will. He's been doing it all series long.
He has 8 off the bench. Remember, 21 points in game 3. Elliott, big move to the hoop.
Great move because he came off the screen, caught the ball, was aware enough to know his defender was trailing him and saw the opening and took advantage without wasting time. Great play.
Sean has 13. Tolbert even calling the plays, initiating the offense. Richmond. Hard to the hole. Only thing David Robinson could do was grab him to stop him. That's David's first personal foul.
Well, see, of course, David still had to run to get back in because Tolbert being so far out. And it's very difficult sometimes to be able to have total and complete body balance when you're hustling that hard to get back in.
Cummings checks back into the game. Richmond has 7-0 in this quarter until then. Here's tonight's Indiana overcame a 14-point Boston lead in the third quarter to send that to game 5.
And it was not a missing person tonight, was it?
No, he was definitely present. Big win for the Indiana franchise, but they have to go back to the Garden for game 5. Well, everybody thought in that Eastern Conference matchup that that would be one of the most competitive in all of the NBA playoffs. And it has been. Sean Elliott sees Marciulionis drop off, takes his jump shot, stripped away by Tolbert or Richmond. Now it's 2-on-2. Richmond hard to the hoop. Anderson couldn't do anything with him, and Richmond has 11. A 4-point Warriors lead. They trailed by as many as 9 earlier. Anderson driving on Marciulionis. Strickland takes it back in there. It was Higgins who knocked it out of bounds. It'll be San Antonio ball.
Warriors playing with a lot of confidence. Spurs a little bit rattled at this point. Need to settle down.
The Spurs, the Midwest Division champs, on the brink of elimination, trailing 2 games to 1. 17-18-footer.
And that's what they need a lot more of, because they're going to get those shots anytime they want, the way that the Warriors are playing defense. You've got to hit those opportunity jumpers.
Strickland has 10. Hardaway getting an extended rest. He certainly did his part before he sat down. Mullen with the turnaround has 11.
Chris had his back worked on before the game. It's a little stiff. Obviously, it's not so stiff that it affects his shooting.
Strickland went right past Mullen. Mullen, I believe, was the man who fouled him. Somebody got a hand on him as he penetrated there. That's 12 points for Rod Strickland.
Did a good job of breaking down and getting by Richmond initially, and was able to split the defenders who were a little late getting over to help out. We'll see it again. There he gets the pass. Richmond, a little screen by David Robinson. Mullen didn't step in quick enough. And
fouled him on the face.
Good play by Strickland. He's having a good ball game.
13 points for Rod Strickland, and he's been effective at the point guard position. Put in had a lot of minutes here, very little rest for him.
Well, game 3 was penetrating and forcing shots up and not making good decisions. He's not done that this evening.
Mullen buries a long-range jumper for 13 now. 3-point Warriors lead. The Warriors, after shooting just miserably at the beginning, they went 4 of 14 to open the game, have now heated up from the perimeter.
San
Antonio calls a timeout with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half of play, and the Warriors holding a 3-point lead. After opening the game cold from the perimeter, Golden State now shooting 69% this quarter.
Yeah, but here we go, the point center. Delhi started it with Paul Pressey back in Milwaukee as the point forward. Now it's the point center. Here's Tolbert. Now you just see Chris Mullen pops out and gets open for the jumper. How that happened, and we have another angle to be able to show you, is you're going to watch Higgins on the left 22 come down. He's going to set a screen right over there. Coming out, a little late, Sean Elliott. No talk and communication. Terry Cummins should have stepped out and taken away the passing lane. They didn't do it. Mullins got open and dropped it.
There's the difference in the game. 43%, 69%. Warriors by 3. 2:40 to go in the half. Cummings, Elliott, Anderson, Strickland, and Robinson on the floor for the Spurs. Strickland with a penetration past Hardaway, who's just checked back into the game. Cummings with the offensive rebound. And Terry Cummings has 11. Warriors by 1. Wide open, Rod Higgins.
Warriors doing a good job, spread the floor, executing their offense, setting picks and screens, the free open men. Spurs not communicating and making switches, allowing the men to get open.
3-point Spurs lead. Now Elliott, he's been effective, sore nose and all. That's Jeff Anderson, who does not have a sore nose. Richmond, power move to the hoop. Look at that pass and ball rotation. That was Richmond, Higgins to Mullen, and Mullen now with 15 points, 11 in the second quarter.
The Warriors just going with their game plan and executing so well. The only reason they don't have a bigger lead is they didn't shoot the ball well early in the ball game.
Strickland tried to drive and was just sandwiched. Warriors ball. Spurs still trying to solve the Warriors puzzle. To shoot for the Warriors. A minute to go in the first half. Look at that one-touch pass. What a pass from Mullen! And Golden State has made their last 7 field goal attempts.
I'll tell you, that's just a super play on the part of the Warriors. They are executing so well at this juncture.
Golden State's biggest lead of the game. They had trailed by 9. 6 to shoot for the Spurs. 4, 3, 2. The foul before the shot. Tom Tolbert. That's his second. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Rick Barry and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game.
Well, and David Robinson just really hasn't had the opportunity to get the ball in a very good position. As I said early in the ball game, Bob, he was flashing the middle, had great position. The ball was not arriving there on time, forcing him then to have to move out because of the 3 seconds. And I think the Warriors have done a nice job of keeping him away from the basket.
He's had only 2 field goal attempts this half and only 2 points. And there you see he's a little off his rhythm, missing the free throw. Coming up at halftime, the Provincial Halftime Report. Dick Versace joins Ernie Johnson in our studios. They'll recap that Indiana-Boston game. Higgins open for 3.
Smart play. Get it up there quickly. They're going to get another possession, and they got a 3-point basket out of it.
Higgins has 12. Time remaining in the half on the lower right of your screen. There's that Golden State pressure. Into Robinson with a big jam. That's a way to get a field goal down. He has 11 points. 7-point Warriors lead. 5 seconds in the half. Hardaway for 3. That's the end of the half. The Warriors lead 62-55. It was similar in Game 3. The Warriors led 65-59 in that game.
The 1991 NBA playoffs are brought to you by GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore. And by BF Goodrich TA Tires, the most exciting change you can make to your car.
1985, 86.
Coming up, it is the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm joined by Dick Versace. This guy has been all over the telestrator. He is ready. He has got a performance you will not forget coming up. We'll take a look at the first half of this game and also look back at Game 1 of our doubleheader from Market Square. It is all ahead. Back in our Atlanta studio, Ernie Johnson along with Dick Versace. We are at halftime, San Antonio and Golden State. The Warriors up by 7. If you're Don Nelson, what do you tell the guys?
I think you say you keep doing what you're doing and maybe exploit it even more. You know, the wonderful thing that we did on the telestrator there.
Wonderful it was.
But actually, I know we had a lot of fun with that, but that's kind of exactly the kind of game they're having. We could have picked out a lot of examples of the penetration and dish game that's causing the problems for San Antonio. And I haven't seen them come up with an answer that is going to stop the effectiveness. The only thing that's going to stop them is Golden State not hitting the shots.
Well, let's go out to Golden State, to the Oakland Coliseum Arena. That's where they're playing this thing, because we've got Bob Neal, who is setting a new standard for frequent flyer miles, and Rick Barry out there. What'd you guys think of that first half?
Well, you know, when Golden State started shooting poorly at the beginning of the game, they were 4 out of 14. We thought, uh-oh, that could be, as Dick just said, the thing that'll bring them down. But their shooting percentage in the second quarter, fellas, 71%.
Yeah, I also felt that they really stopped executing when they had that lead. They were going inside and taking advantage of their size differential. And when the Warriors started to shoot the ball well, like the Spurs stopped going inside. So it was like a double-edged sword.
Rick, Dick Versace, what about this point forward situation? Is there something that San Antonio can do to negate the effectiveness of the penetration and dish game?
Well, Dick, I really think what they have got to do is to back off a little bit of a couple of the guys, not too far so that they're going to give them the easy shot, but then just kind of like stay with them and stay with the good shooters. They really haven't done that well. The other thing I think that they haven't done well is they haven't talked very well defensively on the screens. The Warriors are also running a lot of set plays where they're sending people down and setting screens down on the baseline and just popping out their shooters, and they're not communicating there and making the switch and taking away the passing lane, and they're letting the ball get into the hands of Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, and Hardaway, and these guys are dropping the shots in. So it's been a poor defensive effort, I think, on the part of the Spurs.
I have an idea. A moat. A moat. San Antonio goes to a moat.
Sounds good to me, Bob. You guys have a good second half out there. We'll see you after the ball game.
All right. But, Bob, let's take a look at the shot chart. I think this will tell us a lot about what's been happening in this ball game. Look at Golden State. Look at all the perimeter shots. They had 3 3-pointers. They're out there on the perimeter with a number of other baskets. Now, conversely, we look at what has happened for San Antonio. Well, first we'll look at a couple of plays here. Inside, Tolbert gets the steal as they try to go into Robinson. A bad pass by Willie Anderson. The Warriors, we talked about their transition game. Here it is, and watch the ball movement. Richmond penetrates. He kicks it outside to Higgins. Higgins finds open man Chris Mullin, and he drops it in. Then they're also moving the ball well again when they're in their set offense. Here this time it's Higgins quickly over to Mullin. Touch pass right back to Higgins. He cuts, was able to get by Robinson, who had to be out high and was chasing him to the basket. Another 2 points. Great execution on the Warriors. Now the Spurs. Look at what we're saying. Inside, everything. You only see really basically 3 shots that took place from the perimeter. And so they're trying to get it inside. They haven't been doing as good a job of that as they really should, and getting it to Robinson, who only had 6 shots in the first half. Here we see Robinson get one of the few opportunities that he got inside, as Higgins couldn't come over to help out, and he gets the dunk. But he only had 6 opportunities. You can see they've been very good with their shooting 58%. The Warriors, Cole, fell behind, but then they were torrid with 71. But that wasn't only just the fact that they were still getting good shots, they were getting to the basket, getting easy opportunities. And again, the bench. This time, Rod Higgins got hot with 12, 8 for Marshallonis. The bench has been a big factor in this ball game. It continues to be that way. If San Antonio is going to win this game, Bob, it really basically gets down to they must play better defense. If they don't, the Warriors are on a roll, and they're going to come away with the victory.
Warriors 62-55, ready to get underway. As you see the scoring leaders for the Golden State Warriors, Hardaway, Mullin, and Higgins with 12 in only 16 minutes. 7-point Warriors lead at the half. It'll be Hardaway, Higgins, Mitch Richmond, Mullin, and Jim Peterson to start this half for Golden State, with David Robinson, Sean Elliott, Terry Cummings, Rod Strickland on the floor for San Antonio. And Willie Anderson, by the way, who came up with a donut, no points in the first half.
What I might do if I was Larry Bird, thinking of something, Larry Brown, thinking of something of David Robinson, maybe sometime put him on one of their good shooters.
Higgins misses the jumper as Robinson ran out at him with an excellent defensive play. Elliott opened from the perimeter. Mullin ran at him, bumped him, but no call. Ball goes through the hoop, and Elliott has 15 points. It's only a 5-point Warriors game.
See, right now, maybe make a switch. Instead of having Robinson out there on Peterson, maybe you put him on a Mullin, or you put him on a Higgins, or put him on somebody who's a shooter to take him out of the game.
It's Richmond from 19, opens cold. Chance to cut it for 3 for the Spurs. Terry Cummings threw it left as Elliott went right. That's only the 8th turnover in this game, however, for San Antonio.
The Warriors did a great job in the first half. We have a foul, Ed Rush called down inside. We've got a little banging going on. Terry Cummings called for the foul. But the Warriors hurt themselves in game number 3 by turning the ball over a number of times, allowing the Spurs to get back into the ball game. But they've done a great job with it. Only 4 turnovers in the first half.
Unless San Antonio overcomes the Spurs lead, this will be the end of the season for the Midwest Division champions. They trail in the series 2-1. Hardaway into Peterson for the lay-in.
And a smart move by Peterson. Robinson went to go and double, and Peterson cut to the basket. We talk about that all the time. Your man turns his head or goes, go to the hoop. Your teammate should find you.
Hardaway did. Peterson got his first basket of the game. Anderson hasn't scored yet.
Finally called a foul on Peterson as he's battling inside position with Robinson.
He and Robinson jawing again. They both got technicals early in this game.
There's the action again. Peterson banging the whole time, holding on, gets a little shove with the arm, pushes him off at the left.
Peterson has 4 fouls, but remember, Anderson still hasn't scored. Remember that the Warriors have basically 18 fouls to give on defenders trying to beat up on David Robinson. 5 on Peterson, but they'll just send in another man. Here he comes, Tyrone Hill. Not a problem, says Don Nelson. Neither of the prime centers have played in the last 2 games for the Warriors. Hardaway behind the back to Mullen. Big defensive play.
Terry Cummings with the block. But again, down the other end of the court, Rod Strickland trying to force the issue. Could have pulled up that time instead of taking into the traffic, take that little short jump shot.
Rebound, Sean Elliott. Strickland. Tough shot off the glass, won't fall. Hill keeps it alive. Warriors by 7, 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. There's that spread the floor, big spacing on the part of the Warriors. And the bullet pass inside. Richmond is fouled.
The Warriors really doing an outstanding job of moving without the basketball and doing a lot of back cutting. 3 fouls on Cummings now. They've executed exceptionally well.
Larry Brown trying to solve the Golden State puzzle unsuccessfully through the last 2 games in the first half of this one.
Well, I'll tell you, I think, I'm sure knowing Larry, as I do, Larry probably came up with some fairly decent answers. I just don't think that the players are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They certainly haven't done a great job on staying with the men when the penetrations come and the kickouts coming, and they're not doing a very good job talking defensively, making switches and playing the passing lanes, and I know Larry teaches that.
Warriors by 9. Richmond has 13 points. That's Golden State's biggest lead. Defensive play. Hardaway finds an opening to the basket. It's an 11-point Warriors lead. Timeout, San Antonio. The Coliseum is rocking here in Oakland. Time for tonight's Nissan leaders. I saw Karl Malone play one of the best games of his stellar career. He had 38 points last night and just dominated the game as Utah advanced to the semifinals.
We're seeing 2 other great ones here tonight, Robinson and Mullen. But let's take a look at what the Warriors are doing with their execution and how the Spurs don't play well. Now watch Robinson. He's going to have to follow and go out because Hill goes wide. There's a screen by Mullen. Not good help defensively that time on the part of Elliott. He didn't go over to switch out. Strickland had a trail. Hardaway goes in. Robinson was too far away from the basket to come in to help defensively.
San Antonio has not scored in the last 2 minutes and 12 seconds. They've had 3 turnovers already. 68-57, Warriors by 11. 9:21 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Offensive foul going to be called down underneath there. I think it might be on David Robinson. Either that or Sean. Yes.
It's on Willie Anderson. His
Willie? I thought he put up a 5-0.
Offensive foul, number 40. Willie Anderson, second personal foul.
Willie Anderson struggling tonight. No points. And he's 0 for 5 from the floor.
Yeah, he's just disappeared since game 1.
10 to shoot for the Warriors. Inside, Hardaway gets a layoff inside of Strickland, and Hardaway has an even 20.
Warriors are putting on a clinic here of execution. And actually, it's an execution right now also.
Well said. Anderson still can't get it down, but there's Robinson with a rebound. It's stolen. Richmond to Higgins. Back to Strickland. It's like bumper cars. The foul before the pass. Three personals on Tyrone Hill.
Number 32, Tyrone Hill.
Team foul situation with 8:38 to go in the third. 3 on the Warriors, 2 on the Spurs.
25, David Wingate.
Wingate had a good first half. He checks into the ball game. Anderson will sit down. Elliott looking for Cummings. Inside against Higgins. Higgins right in his face. Mullen battling for the rebound. He kept it alive for Tyrone Hill. Higgins for 2.
We talked about it, penetration, kick out. You can't leave the shooters. The same problem that's plagued them throughout this series continues.
Warriors have built a 15-point lead. The DHS is about to go into effect here at the Coliseum. It's a 10-0 run. Elliott trying to put a stop on it. He's fouled. The DHS.
The DHS, deep hole syndrome. Thank you very much. And I tell you, that's one of those things now where what's happening to the Spurs is that they're losing a little bit of their confidence. And I tell you, for them to come back at this juncture, the way the Warriors are playing, and get a victory here, you would have to have the most incredible amount of respect to this team and the type of character that they have. This is a very tough task. Being on the road, the team that's executing so well, 7:56 to go in the third, and you're trailing now by 14 points. That's not an easy task.
Someone said in the newspaper out here, if you want to be happy in the NBA and the Western Conference, as a person, you have to not ever eat at a place called Mom's. Don't ever date anybody that has more problems than you do, and never, never play the Warriors.
Well, I'll tell you, the Spurs probably will agree with the last part of it, at least so far in this series.
Warriors 17:59.
It's character time right now for the Spurs.
10 to shoot for the Warriors. Hardaway against Strickland. Now 6 to shoot. Goes up from long range.
See, that's a killer, because the way the Warriors are going now, even if the Spurs keep playing good defense and the Warriors keep shooting the ball like that, it's not going to make a difference. But they have to play better defense to begin with and hope the Warriors start shooting poorly.
Pressey thought about the 3. Rebound Richmond.
They still can't hit the outside shot. That's killed them in this series, Bob. It really has.
Golden State shot 71% in the second quarter. They're shooting 71%, 5 out of 7 again here in the third quarter, and San Antonio can't throw in the ocean. Higgins on the power drive past Robinson after he pulled him out. Missed the lay-in, however. Pressey can't even hit the lay-in. I'm talking about you have a team out of sync. Mullen with the pull-up from 13. Higgins. Hard foul. Elliott didn't get it to fall. He'll go to the free throw line.
And the Spurs need to get more opportunities like that,
22,
because they're not doing a great job of running their own offense at this juncture.
Warriors, by the way, just went into the penalty on that, although it was a shooting foul anyway. Only 2 team fouls against the Spurs. 74-59 Golden State.
2 shots.
Elliott has 17 in this game.
David Robinson still has not been a big factor offensively. He was 6 shots in the first half. He was 4 of 6. Hasn't really had an opportunity to do much here. The Admiral is running to a storm at sea.
Elliott gets 1 out of the 2. Don Nelson has stayed with the lineup he sent out there at the start of this half, with the exception of Tyrone Hill came in for Peterson after Peterson picked up his 5th personal foul. We have yet to see Marciulionis here in the third quarter. Hardaway trying to penetrate. 10 seconds, kicking it out. Tyrone Hill kept it alive. Mullen Dishes to Hill, blocked by Robinson. A monster block by David. He's averaging 4.3 a game in this playoff series.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, David's going to have to come up with, I think, some of his submarine strategy here. There's that great block by David, because with those rough waves above the water, he needs to get underground to try and come up with something for this team.
Well, Robinson has had only 6 field goal attempts in the first half, none this quarter. Marshalonis in for Rod Higgins. 14-point Warriors lead, 6:10 to go in the third quarter. 15, 14 and counting to shoot for the Warriors. Had Hill posted down low against Wingate. Hardaway didn't get it there. Dribbled off his foot.
We talked about this here, and I like that. I mean, not so much that it would be Hardaway, but why not put him out on the court? At least take one of the shooters out of it if you put him out there, instead of having him guard the guy who's not a shooter like a Hill or a Peterson, whoever's in the game.
Now Robinson has to kick it to Wingate. He's wide open.
And that's the problem. They can't make the shot when they get those opportunities.
That was well executed. Hardaway. Robinson with 9 rebounds. Kicks it to Anderson. First points of the night for Willie Anderson.
Willie Anderson.
And it's a 12-point Warriors lead. Tom Tolbert will be in this ballgame in a moment for Golden State, as will Terry Cummings from San Antonio.
I will say this. I think the Warriors will cool down. They're not going to shoot the ball that hot for the rest of this ball game. And if San Antonio could just execute well offensively, work on the defense a little bit, they can battle back.
Marshalonis had no place to go with that, and the offense stalled on that particular set. Chance to cut the lead to 10. Elliott, hard drive. It was flipped out of there, and Hardaway controls it. Look at the pass to Mullen. Fouled hard. The basket counts. Mullen is going to be slow getting up. He's shaken up on the play. He's holding his right knee. Wingate's third personal. Let's hope this is not significant.
What a bruise is what he did. I don't know if he banged against the support or against our camera. Let's watch and see. There's the ball knocked away by Mullen. Hardaway with the save, sees the court. Look at the great lead pass to Chris. As he comes in, wacko, boom. There's the crash, and that's where he banged against something.
Warriors take a 20-second timeout. Mullen will have to shoot the free throw. So he has to stay in to shoot the free throw. Hopefully he'll be able to do that. That's what Don Nelson is asking him right now.
Oh, he'll definitely stay in and shoot the free throw. Otherwise, he's out of the game. We'll watch again, see if we can pick it up on this wider angle. Great pass by Hardaway. The contact.
Foul from behind.
It's the left. Looked like it was it the right one or the left one? Still can't see it.
It looked like he hurt it without bruising it, however. He was limping, or looking like he was in pain before he went down. Mullen's coming back out here, trying to check out that knee. He's a conditioning fanatic, so you know that the muscle tone is as good as it can humanly be for Mullen.
Yeah, he has about 6% body fat. However, he's not really what you would call a sculptor type of athlete like a Karl Malone as far as his muscles, but he is in incredible shape.
4:49 to go third quarter. 76-62, Warriors by 14. Their biggest lead in this game has been 15. Mullen can match that with the successful free throw attempt.
He has one only.
Mullen with 17 so far in this ball game. He had 11 in the second quarter. Converts the three and seems to be running okay. Pressing defended by Marshalonis. Wingate, effective screen down low. Look at the block shots inside. And the foul. Is that going to be on Terry Cummings?
4 on Terry.
It's 4.
Number 34, Terry Cummings, his 4th personal foul.
And we'll see the play again as Cummings goes in strong. Got it blocked by Richmond, actually. He just lost the handle on it, and as he runs in, he inadvertently tripped Richmond.
22, Rod Higgins returns.
Remember that the Spurs do not have Sidney Green here tonight. A death in the family, and Sidney Green is not with the team. He certainly could give them a little help, even a few minutes of rebounding and inside strength, but not here tonight. Got a jump ball. Richmond and Wingate. The winner of this series will advance to play the Lakers.
Stolen. That was stolen, I thought, by Mitch Richmond, but they're going to say jump it again.
Ed T. Rush said the toss wasn't fair. I agree with you. Richmond got it going up. See, there's the fairway.
Let's see what the Spurs can do with Robinson getting some rest.
Elliott against Ellie. It won't fall. Offensive board by Sean Elliott. That's only San Antonio's third field goal this quarter with under 4 minutes remaining. Elliott has 20. Look at Marjolanis. The leaner under control all the time. He has 10 points and a three-point opportunity as Hardaway gets ready to come back in for Don Nelson along with Tom Tolbert.
Yeah, Marjolanis has a very strong body, strong legs. Gets himself a good base to work from. Wasn't out of control. Now watch how he plants himself here. Very strong, but wide base. There he is. Strong with the legs. Leans in with the body. Has a very, very large hands for a guy his size, and can palm the ball very easily, enabling him to reach out and keep control of the ball with the left hand. He's been really dynamite driving to the basket. He's been virtually unstoppable.
Personally outscoring the entire San Antonio bench in this series. It's a 16-point Warriors lead, the biggest of the game with 3:51 to go in the third. Tolbert in muscling on Robinson, looking for the Admiral. Lob to Robinson, but he had to bring the ball down because the lob wasn't in a good place, and it's punched away.
But you see, he set a screen, went in, turned, posted in the middle. The ball wasn't there. The ball has got to be there at that point. The Spurs have done a terrible job of getting the ball to Robinson when he has been open.
18 seconds on the shot clock as Ed T. Rush goes over to talk to the official scorers. Don Nelson giving instructions to the players there right in front of his bench. Portland and Seattle. That series has gone to the 5th game.
Number 40, Willie Anderson.
Willie Anderson now with 4 points. And Utah, who clinched their series at home last night, will play either Portland or Seattle in that round. That bracket. 14 seconds to shoot for Golden State. There you go. We said David Robinson has not been able to get off a shot this entire half. Only 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 6 to shoot. Tolbert with the drive, but he traveled. It was an excellent move. Too excellent.
Bob, you could have gotten by David if you had that many steps given to you.
Of course. 80-66. Golden State. Game has hit somewhat of a lull, which might be slightly in the favor of San Antonio. Tolbert and Robinson banging. There comes the double team. Robinson shoots it over Tolbert anyway. And David Robinson, despite all his difficulties, has 13 points. His first field goal of this quarter with 2:48 remaining. Ellie driving. Elliott to Anderson. He missed the layup. Mullen gets the rebound. Warriors by 12. Hardaway pulls up to 19. He knew that was going the minute it left his fingertips. And Tim Hardaway has 24 points. Mullen 18, Richmond 13. The big three. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Again looking for Robinson.
Look where Tolbert has him, how far from the basket.
Strickland shoots it with 7 to go. He was left unmolested, and Rod Strickland has 15. Don Nelson decides to get a timeout to decide how to spend the final 50 of the third quarter with a 12-point lead. We're going to take a look at the difference between difficult and easy. Difficult for San Antonio, easy for Golden State.
And look at David Robinson. Look at what he has to try to do. Setting screens. Now he's bumped by Tolbert. Pushed again, trying to fight position. Tolbert does a good job of denying him. Pushing him out high. Gets bumped. I tell you what, it's a real break, I think, for the Warriors because the officials are not calling it real close down inside. And David's been taking a pounding. And then, of course, we talked about that even if you play some good defense, you have to worry about whether or not the Warriors are going to shoot. You see that move? He got Strickland backing up. Boom, drills it in. You know, right now, if you're San Antonio, it reminds me of the Butch Cassidy Sundance Kid. You know, who are these guys when they kept chasing after him? Well, this is who they are.
Mario Elie, they thought he was going to be a career CBA guy. He's also played in Argentina, 3 foreign countries. Karūnas Marciulionis, a Lithuanian. Rod Higgins, only one of 2 players here since the 1987 changeover started, and Tom Tolbert was the other guy who played in Arizona with Sean Elliott. Who are these guys? Richmond gets mugged. Good interior defense by the Spurs. Elliott has been the offense tonight. He is fouled as he goes hard to the hoop.
You know, now, despite all of this, the Spurs are still within striking distance. They have a chance to cut it to 10. You have an entire quarter to go. The Warriors have shot the ball exceptionally well. And, again, I think that their shooting will cool off somewhat. It's just a matter of how tough San Antonio can play defense and how well they're going to be able to execute to see if they can make a run at them.
Indiana was at home, but Indiana trailed Boston in the Indiana victory tonight by 14 in the third quarter and came back to win. Missing the free throw.
Of course, the big difference there being is that Indiana was at home.
Exactly.
And you can come back from the old deep hole syndrome at home much more readily than you can if you're on the road.
Two games going on at once here in the Oakland neighborhood of the Coliseum. Next door, baseball. The A's are playing the Cleveland Indians. Traffic nightmare. Hardaway looking for the double team. There it is. He finds the open man. It's Richmond over Wingate. Got right in his face. Tolbert kept it alive, but Strickland controls. Look at the steal by Marciulionis. 3-on-1. He'll hand it to Tolbert from the baseline. In and out of there. Rebound Elliott. Now Wingate cherry picks, has to throw it back in bounds. He couldn't control it, and the Warriors have the ball. That's somewhat symbolic of the frustration of the Spurs in the last 3 games.
Well, I thought that's a tough basket not to get. That cuts it down underneath 10.
Underneath a minute to go in the third quarter. 10 to shoot for Golden State. Richmond has Strickland posted. Robinson comes for the double team and the steal.
And just throws it away. Slipped away from his hand. Another
transition defense.
That's 4 points right there that Spurs just gave away within the last minute here.
Now 25 in the quarter, 15 on the shot clock. 10 to shoot. Marciulionis just leveled Presser. That'll be an offensive foul.
Number 13, Marciulionis.
Well, Marciulionis using this forearm in his drill press. I told you he's strong.
Ooh. So this final 18.2 seconds of this quarter, very significant. Warriors by 11. Spurs with the ball and an opportunity to get it into single digit, and that's anybody's ball game with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, and they'll remember those two botched plays just here in the last 35-40 seconds where it could be a 5-point game right now, a 7-point game right now.
10 seconds in the quarter. Clear the floor for Strickland. Against Hardaway, Strickland gets it to fall with 5 seconds in the quarter. Warriors have a chance for a shot here. Tolbert will take a 3 from long range. Would have counted. So the Spurs do cut it to 9 with 12 minutes to go in this ball game as Tolbert misses the 3 at the buzzer. Spurs cut it to 9 points. David Robinson, 13 points, 11 rebounds tonight, but he has been the only consistent player in this series for the Spurs.
Well, yes, you see the first 3 games, Bob. Look at Anderson, Strickland, Elliott, Cummings. You can see we talked about Anderson really just going downhill in each of the ball games. Strickland up and down. Elliott, well, he got hurt in game 2, so that's not really too good an indication that he's been strong tonight. And Cummings up and down. So they just have not gotten the kind of consistency that they've needed out of their people. But hey, give a lot of credit to the Warriors. You see tonight, Elliott having another good game, Strickland doing fine, Anderson disappearing, and Cummings struggling also.
And tonight, as we said, David Robinson only 13, which for him is way below his average, of course.
But they're still right there. They've got it. They still have a great chance.
Pressey open from the corner. He's not going to miss that one.
It is a 7-point game. The Warriors cannot try to just play not to lose. They got to keep playing to win the way they play the whole ball game. They've got to get it up, take the opportunity shots, spread the floor, do everything they were doing early in the ball game. They can't change that game plan.
When they went back on their heels defensively in game number 3, they almost lost it. They led by 11 with 5 minutes to go and then almost lost it. Mullen with a bad shot.
And again, who was on him? David Robinson. I still think I'd like to see David on one of the shooters all the time.
Anderson misses from the corner. Richmond with a rebound. Hardaway there to collect the desperation save pass.
As you know, Bob, David's so quick, he can stay with those guys.
Good Spurs defense on this set. 10 to shoot. Hardaway isolated against Strickland. They'll just pull up and shoot the jumper.
See, you can't do much against that. That was good defense. They did what they had to do, and you just have to hope that the Warriors are going to start missing those shots, which they very easily could start doing.
Hardaway with 26. His great weapon is that crossover dribble threat. Everybody lays off him. Anderson with an easy lay-in and has 6 points all in this round.
Well, they need him to come alive here in this quarter if they're going to have a chance.
Spurs trail by 7. There's Hardaway showing the crossover. And the foul on Strickland. He calls it the UTEP two-step. Said he saw Pearl Washington with the crossover dribble while watching Syracuse on TV when he's at University of Texas El Paso and learned the move. Most people in the league feel it's the best crossover dribble in the NBA. Penetration, the kick out, Higgins, Tolbert, he'll take it to the hole and kick it out. Richmond now looking for his shot. Anderson right in his face.
That's good defense by the Spurs. They stayed home.
Anderson against Mullen. And this is a 5-point Warriors lead as the Spurs make an early fourth-quarter run.
And Bob, even if they lose this ball game, they've showed that they have really good character. They didn't fold up the 10.
Robinson with the steal, but Tolbert saves it. A travel call on Hardaway. The crowd explodes, as does Don Nelson. Now Ed T. Rush explaining the call, saying
they're going to call it. They were calling. He was calling a travel on the sideline before the ball was saved and bound. It was just a late whistle.
Clock is being reset.
And then they're going to reset the 24-second clock now. And
Don Nelson's going to get a timeout.
To 22 seconds.
Warriors lead it by 5. 9:33 to go in this ball game. The Spurs on a 15-4 run. It was 80-64 Golden State with 9:33 to go. It's a 5-point game.
And the Warriors definitely have flattened out, no question about it. They went from 37 points in the second quarter, only 20 in the third. Unfortunately for the Spurs only scored 18 in the third quarter as they were flat. But they're making a run at it right here, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Warriors respond.
Well, the crowd responding for the Warriors. San Antonio down only 5. Tolbert trying to back in on Robinson. Finds Richmond open from 17. He never misses that shot.
Again, no talking. He came off a screen down low. There wasn't any communication. His man was trailing him, and he got open.
Richmond with 15. He was the big gun in the fourth quarter for Golden State on Wednesday. Pressey got open on a baseline screen. Offensive board. Defensive board by Mitch Richmond. Hardaway for 3. Big three-pointer by Hardaway.
Nelly. Boy, did Nelly love that one.
for the Dutch boy in the paint. Once again, San Antonio scoring more points inside there, but certainly not doing anything from the perimeter.
No, and actually, that's so rare. Normally, the team that scores inside is the team that will win a high percentage of the time. But when the Warriors shoot the ball as well as they have in the last couple of ball games from the perimeter, that obviously is not going to be a determining factor. And here's the guy that's really been the killer. I mean, Hardaway has just come up with big shot after big shot.
29 points, 6 assists for Tim Hardaway. Well, don't bring on the Lakers yet. There's still 8:57 remaining here. It's a 10-point game. And everybody who knows basketball knows that David Robinson can just explode on you. He has not done it tonight. They have not been able to get him the ball at the opportune moments. Don Nelson called a timeout. Golden State came out of there with 5 points. The lob to Robinson, it won't fall. Hardaway with the ball. Very alert vision on the part of Golden State tonight. They seem to have eyes in the sides and backs of their head. Hardaway kicks it to Higgins for a 3. Still a 10-point game. Spurs, Willie Anderson.
He's still penetrated and got a good open shot.
Tolbert with a block of Robinson. It'll be foul. A foul. Everybody wanted a jump ball except the officials got the foul. Tolbert got around behind to stop that shot, and Robinson will go to the line.
You see David sneaks inside. That time he got it fairly low to the basket. Quick spin move to the basket. And the foul call. He goes all over him with the body. Somebody carrying a sign around here that says, Mr. Robertson, can you say elimination?
Oh, my. David Robinson misses the free throw attempt. Only 1 field goal for Robinson in the half. There's the sign. Nine-point Warriors lead. 8:20 to go in this ball game. Foul situation. Both teams with 1 team foul each. Richmond against Wingate. Backing in. Kicks it to Higgins. Back. 10 to shoot now. The steal by Strickland. All the frustration of the Spurs. They make so many plays that are almost big. Beautiful move by Strickland. Couldn't control the ball. 6 seconds for the Warriors to shoot. That's a turnover as Mullen wanted to hit Richmond. He cut. Mullen tried to hold the ball, and it was a turnover. Big one, too. Warriors by 9. Don Nelson almost walked out in the middle of the floor of the team to say, come on, come on. Larry Brown's quiet. He was talking in the huddle. Robinson posted against their own hill. Anderson got up in the air with no place to go. Strickland back into Robinson. 5 to shoot. David Robinson missed it. Followed, missed. Rebound, Elliott. Jump ball. That'll get Larry Brown off the bench.
Sean Elliott showing a lot of guts out there as he continues to play with that broken nose. Took another shot on it. He got one early in the ball game. That's why he bounced the ball hard on the court. He just got a little frustrated because he's getting tired of getting hit. Here you see the pushing. Look at that. You see, that's a foul, Bob. I don't care where you're doing it. They're letting a lot go, and it's hurting the Spurs because Robinson's not getting a chance to have fouls called.
Spurs lead it by 9. 7:28 remaining in the game.
See, that's what I don't like about the playoff situation when they let that kind of play go, because it doesn't take a good player to play that kind of defense.
7 seconds to shoot. Hardaway, 4 seconds. 3, 2 for 3. And out of there, Hardaway. Rebound, Robinson. He has 14 rebounds. Golden State playing tentatively now, not their game. Strickland on the drive was fouled. Marshall is back into the ball game. He does not know how to spell tentative.
Placing number 22, Bob Higgins.
Higgins sits down as Marshall Otis comes back in. 9-point Warriors lead. Warriors hoping to advance. Play the Lakers in the semifinals. The Midwest Division champion Spurs facing elimination. Down 2 games to 1. Anderson misses the jumper. San Antonio ball. 6:51 remaining in the game. Pressey gets back in for Anderson.
For number 40, Willie Anderson.
Getting the wetness off the floor, and it'll be unbounded on the baseline. Robinson was fouled before he drove to the basket.
See, now I thought he was fouled worse the last time on the replay that we had than he was on that play.
Number 32, Tyrone Hill.
It's on Hill, and that's 4 on him. And Peterson has 5, by the way, so they've spent 9 fouls, those 2 fellas, and Tolbert has 4. That's 13 fouls have been spent on being on David Robinson. Wingate kicks it to Strickland. Excellent defense by Hardaway. Strickland's turnaround. Big bucket by Rod. And now it's a 7-point Warriors game. Strickland has 19. San Antonio had cut the lead to 5. Then 5 consecutive points by the Warriors, put it back to double digits. 7 seconds to shoot. 5, 4. Richmond kicks it to Hardaway for a 3. He buries it.
I can't believe they left
buzzer.
But Bob, I can't believe they left this guy. He's been killing him with that shot. Why did Pressey leave him?
Hardaway has 32. Robinson and Hill, it's just a mugging down there inside. That'll be 5 on Tyrone Hill.
Number 32, Tyrone Hill. His 5th personal
Watch
foul.
this.
Hardaway with 32.
Yeah, but watch again here. Pressey goes into double. Why? Look at the good defense was being played. Richmond had nothing to do. The clock might even gone out. That's so bad.
Pressey drives on Mullen. Beautiful play by Paul Pressey.
Number 8, Paul Pressey.
8-point Warriors lead. 5:40 to go. Golden State milking the clock. This is intentional, but it certainly is a different kind of game than they play for the earlier part. Down to 10. Hardaway with 5. 3. Marshallonis from long range. It's in. He's fouled. Count the basket. It's a 2, not a 3-pointer. That was nearly a 4-point foul for an opportunity foul. Marshallonis was on the line.
There we see it again. We'll be able to watch the clock. Quickly over to Marshallonis. 2-1 June. Warriors are taking advantage of the shot clock.
The game clock down, you see it in the upper left there. 5:16 remaining in this game. With a 10-point Warriors lead, Marshallonis can build it to 11. Sarunas in this ball game tonight has 13.
Well, I said the Warriors are probably, more than likely will get Cole shooting the ball. That hasn't happened. Still 5 to go, though.
Look at this. Double draw traveling on Strickland. An incredible unforced turnover. Now 15 San Antonio turnovers. It's all told on the face of Larry Brown. Mullen gets the ball into the hands of the point guard, Tim Hardaway. 32 points for Hardaway tonight. Shot clock to 10. Marshallonis posted down against Wingate. Marshallonis hard into the chairs over there in the corner. He's all right. 4:51 remaining. 11-point Warriors lead. Spurs timeout. They'll have the ball and a timeout, and the Spurs need to get it going right now or they're on vacation.
Don't
miss. Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Philadelphia and Chicago, Game 2 of the Eastern semifinals. Remember, the Sixers beat the Bulls twice in Chicago in the regular season, beat them 3 out of 4 times. So the Bulls, even though they have the home court advantage, will have their hands full. And of course, San Antonio had the home court advantage in this series. And Mr. Robinson came at this point to the wrong neighborhood. David Robinson trying to lead his Spurs from the brink of elimination. 4:51 to go. Warriors by 11. Strickland trying to penetrate to David Robinson, too far from the hoop. Willie Anderson now trying to beat Richmond. Wingate gets the basket and a three-point opportunity.
And a very big play for the Spurs. Obviously, they have to try and score on every possession. A chance to pick up 3 points instead of 2 is most advantageous for them.
That's the 5th foul on Hill. Now Tolbert comes back in. Tolbert carries 4.
Now, Bob, where they have to be careful, the Warriors, in game number 3, they had a similar situation when their lead was starting to dissipate. They came down, they made bad decisions. They didn't use the clock. They got the ball into the hands of people who took some shots that they shouldn't have taken, and they allowed the Spurs to get close and have a chance to win the ball game. They can ill afford to do that here because there's still plenty of time left. They have to execute well.
Wingate cuts it to 8 with 4:26 to go. Mullen lobs inside. Bad pass. He was looking for Richmond.
Didn't use the shot clock. Made a bad decision. Just what we talked about.
Excellent point. Anderson to Strickland. Get his own rebound. Missed it again. Richmond with the defensive board. Excellent blocking out defensively by Golden State all night.
And Spurs just didn't have it. They had a great opportunity there. That would have made the game even more interesting than it is.
Tolbert on the dribble. Turnaround by Mullen.
It's a bad shot. They didn't use the clock again, and they took another. That's 2 times in a row. They're playing right into the Spurs' hands.
3:45 to go in the game. 8-point Warriors lead. Looking for Robinson. He has Richmond posted. Gets the basket now with 3:35. It is a 6-point Warriors lead, and Rick, you couldn't have analyzed it better. Golden State, just as they did in game number 3, making bad decisions late in the ball game. There's a foul on the double team.
See, now what you have to be careful about if you're the Warriors, now all of a sudden suppose the Spurs come up with some big defensive plays. They haven't done a lot of that. But if they do, and they start to make a couple of shots, now it gets a little touchy for you. So Warriors need to be very careful the next couple of possessions.
Spurs with only 3 team fouls. Robinson nearly with a steal there. Warriors are in the penalty already. Now Hardaway against Strickland. There's the double team. Robinson comes out on it. Tolbert was wide open down low. Couldn't get him the ball. Richmond on the drive. He's fouled.
That's a pass off. That'll be a non-shooting foul.
Willie Anderson. Now 4 team fouls on the Spurs. They'll be in the penalty on their next foul. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. This is a major possession here for Golden State with a new shot clock. Hardaway against Strickland. The double team. Tolbert's open from 17 feet. Big bucket by Tolbert. He had a couple of clutch jumpers in game number 3, and that's Tolbert's first basket of the game. Warriors by 8. 2:45 remaining. Now Robinson trying to get inside. Offensive foul. David Robinson as he levels Marciulionis.
Offensive foul, number 15, David Robinson.
2:38 to go in the game. David Robinson only 2 fouls.
And just as we talked, though, obviously it's essential for the Spurs to execute well. They cannot afford to make plays like that either. They need every opportunity to be successful for them.
Now Hardaway against Strickland. 10 seconds to shoot. 7. Richmond for 3. 2:15 to go in the game. Warriors by 8. Robinson against Tolbert. Anderson with the drive. Rebound Mullen. Real big rebound and a foul in the backcourt. No. Yeah, it's a foul in the backcourt. It is on Wingate, his 5th.
Bob, you have to really admire what the Warriors have done in this series. They were beaten soundly in the first ball game. Don Nelson made some adjustments, and the Spurs have not been able to handle what Don Nelson has thrown at them.
2 minutes to go in the game. Both teams with no fouls to give. Warriors by 8.
So this is nothing new. I mean, if you really remember what LA did against Utah, getting eaten out of the game, it was a similar situation, except you have a much more versatile type of a performer in David Robinson. But it's been just great execution on the part of the Warriors.
I have a question for you. Why does Larry Brown not have Terry Cummings in crunch time?
22nd timeout here being taken by San Antonio.
I know you don't know what's in Larry Brown's
I think
mind,
basically probably with some quickness and some defensive situations here, trying to go ahead and use his people to come up with some stops. Plus Terry has been struggling a little bit.
He has not scored since early in the second quarter, has only 11 points.
And as you remember in Game 3, he took him out also down the stretch in that ball game.
There's your timeout look. No 20s for either team. Neither team with fouls to give.
As we mentioned before, we saw numerous occasions when I kept talking about how they had screen downs and men weren't jumping out and switching. Terry Cummings was involved in a lot of those plays. He's not known for his defense, and Larry knows that to get back in, they had to have defense, and they figure they can get offense from other people or from creating opportunities with their defense.
The Warriors hoping to pull the upset. Mr. Mullins' neighborhood. Neighborhood is becoming a word David Robinson's not going to be happy to hear. He's seen a lot of signs that couldn't make anybody happy here in Oakland. 2 minutes to go. It's certainly not over. 10 points in the NBA in 2 minutes can happen in a flash. We saw Golden State put up 5 in 30 seconds just a moment ago.
Yeah, it can, but you also don't worry as much about it with a team like the Spurs, who really don't have a lot of good three-point shooters.
Anderson, Elliott, Pressey, Robinson, and Wingate on the floor. Pressey inside, knocked out of bounds by Mullen. 1:52 to go. Now Strickland back into the game, and Pressey will go out.
Ellie's back in. Also, Marciulionis goes to the bench.
But Elliott, he's very physical defender. Robinson hits easily on the baseline. Robinson, 5 points in the fourth quarter. Elliott and Cummings, no points in the fourth quarter. It is an 8-point Warriors lead with 1:39 remaining.
The only way they can lose this game is if it's self-destruct right now. They just have to hold on to the ball, use the shot clock up, and it's history for the Spurs.
Richmond is fouled by Wingate. He'll go to the line. Wingate fouls out of the ball game.
Don Nelson has played this game on the sideline. He is so emotional, so into it. Just look at him. He's perspiring. His hair is drenched. I mean, he's played every play in this ball game.
Remember, if you want to be happy, don't eat at a place called Mom's. Don't date somebody who has more problems than you. Never play the Warriors. They said in the paper here today in Oakland.
What cost the penalty? 2 shots.
These Spurs, there's something to watch. It makes no sense. You said, who are these guys? They have players out of the CBA on the floor. They have guys like Tom Tolbert that was cut from 2 teams prior to coming here. The only reputation he has is that he played with Sean Elliott at Arizona. He's played very big. Mario Elie was drafted in the 7th round in '85 by Don Nelson, and Nelson said he had forgotten about him before his assistants found him again, laboring in the CBA. Only 2 times before as the 7th seed defeated the 2nd seed, and one time it was the Warriors in 1989.
And again, they did the same type of thing we're talking here. They went with a little lineup. They were pulling people out far from the basket. Even when they played the big lineup, if you remember that one, I think they had Manute Bol was out shooting those 3-point shots out there with that team. I mean, it was really an interesting way that they came up with the strategy to come away with the victory, and they're pulling it off again here against the Spurs.
Minute 30 remaining. 10-point Warriors lead. Both teams in the penalty. Spurs ball. Tolbert, Mullen, Ellie, Richmond, and Hardaway on the floor for Golden State defensively. They'll be looking for Robinson. We have a foul outside the three-point line.
Ellie pushed Sean Ellie. That's not smart. And Ellie's saying, what are you doing? Make him use some time on the clock.
1 second ticked off. And it'll be a chance for 2 points with virtually no time off the clock.
That's what gives coaches gray hairs. I mean, you talk about things, I'm sure Nelly said, hey, whatever you do, tough defense, make him use some time on the clock, no fouls. And what happens?
Bang.
1 second goes off, boom, foul.
So I heard everything except the no fouls part. Don Elliott with a sharp tongue might be saying to Ellie, can you spell CBA? Not really. This young man has performed very well late in the year here. .129, and this could cut the lead to 9. Golden State can't quite get any breathing room.
Yeah, I'll put the ball into the hands of Mitch Richmond and Chris Mullin, good free throw shooters, because the Spurs have got to foul. They're going to have to foul. They'll come up with some great defensive plays. Use the clock up.
Elliott.
That's smart.
Is fouled.
And if you're going to foul, that's smart. Foul a guy that you have to, test him. He hasn't been here before in this type of a situation. Let's see how he responds.
Ellie in the playoffs is 9 out of 9 from the line, but he's not had to shoot any big ones at this point in the game. 8-point Warriors lead, 123. Only 7 seconds have ticked off since that timeout. That is 10 out of 10.
And I tell you what, he's in the game because Nelly, I guess, knows that he can shoot free throws.
Look at his international travels.
At this juncture, you know there are going to be fouls called. So as a coach, you want to put the players in who can drop them.
Calmly knocks down 2 free throws to build the lead to 10 again. Minute 20. All the Golden State players on the bench, their anticipation is evident. Pressey, no fouls as you see him drive to the hoop. Now the backcourt pressure.
That's it. Give it to Chris. Give it to Chris. Keep it, Chris. Give it to another good free throw shooter. There you go.
He's fouled, and he'll go to the line. In the series, Mullin, 23 of 25 coming into tonight's game. Mullin, by the way, has 18 points. Make it 20.
Number 17, Chris Mullin, 1 plus the penalty, 2 shots.
He missed a big free throw late in the game in Game 3. He hit 1 out of 2, however, which did make it the 3-point game that forced San Antonio to go for threes. Very try to tie.
Surprised he missed.
1 minute remaining. 9-point Warriors lead.
If you had 3-point shooters, you might have to think they have a real shot, but that's not very good defense there. They can use a little more time.
Under a minute.
Offensive foul. Oh!
A 7-point lead. Warriors commit the offensive foul as Hardaway lowered that shoulder. San Antonio gets a timeout with 52 seconds left. Don Nelson cannot breathe easily yet.
No, he can't. And again, we talked about the only way they can lose is to self-destruct. Well, what did they just do on the last 2 possessions? They have Spurs get the ball. The Spurs come down. They allow Strickland to drive all the way to the basket uncontested, use very little time off the clock, so now the clock stops on the made basket. And they bring it inbounds, and Hardaway tries to force the issue and picks up an offensive foul using very little time on the clock, giving the Spurs, a glimmer of hope. We'll watch Hardaway again on the play as he just takes it up the court. Here comes the defender, tries to blow by. Strickland with excellent position. Hardaway just lowered the shoulder. I thought it was a pretty good call.
San Antonio, by the way, just spent their last timeout, and that could be very significant here, trailing by the 7 with 52 seconds to go. You see they have none remaining. The Warriors do have 3. Of course, the Warriors just want to get that clock to tick, and it has been ticking slowly since 1:30.
Well, I think that this possession is very critical. They have to score on this possession. And even Larry, knowing that he was going to use up his last timeout, probably his mapping strategy for the rest of the ball game, telling him exactly what they have to do, feeling that he needs to get a good play now to get the score and then go ahead and proceed with the game plan from that point forward. But he didn't want to take a chance at them just bringing them down, doing something silly and blowing this opportunity.
Well, we know it's probably going to get down to San Antonio making, Golden State making free throws.
there's really not a whole lot of hope here. And the same thing with the Spurs not being a really outstanding three-point shooting team. There's plenty of time left right now for them to go ahead and try and get as easy a basket as they can without using much time on the clock. For the Warriors, you try and put pressure on them defensively. Don't commit any silly fouls. Make them use as much time on the clock as possible. And then everybody go to the board to get a rebound should they miss.
David Robinson tonight, 18 points. He has been a rebounding monster as usual with 14, but again, 18 far below his average, and he has not been able to get the ball in an effective scoring position.
That's 10 below his average for the playoffs.
Clock starts when the ball inbounds Strickland, who's open. Takes it to the hoop. Colbert got up on him. Loose ball foul on the whistle.
That's going to be Ellie going to the line.
The foul is called on Strickland.
Number 1, Rod Strickland.
Ellie, who has not missed a free throw in the playoff series. 47 seconds remaining. Warriors by 7.
Number 20, Mario Ellie. 1 plus the penalty. 2 shots.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
He's an excellent free throw shooter. You just watch his form
and his confidence. He hasn't missed in the series. Now to 9. San Antonio out of timeouts and just about out of a season. The Midwest Division champions blew Golden State away in game 1, and then the Warriors went small.
San Antonio went south.
They're on their feet at the Coliseum. That's the ball game. 11 points. The lead, Mullen with 23. And the rebound. Hardaway with 32. Richmond with 17. The cherry on the ice cream sundae.
Nelson and the coaching staff and people are all out on the court. They're so excited.
The Golden State Warriors advance to the semifinals to play the Los Angeles Lakers. This is their 8th consecutive win, counting regular season, here at the Coliseum. They lost the opener and then swept the next 3. Larry Brown and the Spurs could never solve the small, quick lineup and the big 3 of Golden State. Coming up Sunday, Golden State will be at L.A. in game 1 of the semifinals. It'll be here on TNT. Ron Thulin and Rick Barry will have that game with you. 110-97 Golden State. Here's Ernie Johnson.